Hi, how are you doing today? If you have followed so far, you can remember that we have added two securities to our portfolio and a few transactions for them. Now we can talk about the exciting part of how to analyze our performance. In this video, I want to talk about the first analysis page, this page. Here we find a summary of our performance in investments and debts. As you see, the section for the loans analysis is empty because we have not yet added any loan to our portfolio, which I will talk about in the future videos. Here we find a summary of our assets and their performance. This table has two categories. The first category is the unrealized part of our assets, referring to the part that we haven't sold yet. For that part, we can calculate the gross value from all the market values of our assets. In our case, we have $9,200, and if we deduct fees and taxes as expenses from this amount, we end up with the net value that we can get if we want to sell our assets. In our case, we will get $8,800 from this number, and the amount that we have spent to buy these assets, we can calculate how much we have gained or how much we have lost, and that is shown in this section in profit loss quantity. If it is a positive number, that means we have gained something. If it is a negative number, that means we have lost something. And this number could be shown in a non-dimensional way, as a normalized way, and that is shown by internal rate of return, IRR, and this refers to the return of all your investments divided by your investments. In our case, we have gained 10%. So how much we have invested, let's say X value, we have gained 10% of this X value. The other category is the realized part of our assets, referring to the part that we have sold and transferred to cash. For our case, we have gained $1,300, and the IRR for the realized part is even higher, is 52%. The realized part you shouldn't underestimate because it shows your past performance in realizing your assets. You should always be careful to keep all these numbers positive and as much as positive. You may like to see these values all around whenever you work with something else. And that is also possible. For example, if I go to the securities page, I can find those numbers at my right side here in this section, your portfolio in a glance. You see all those values I find in these two sections, unrealized and realized part. And here we have also another quantity, and that is the annualized internal rate of return. And this is the internal rate of return, but per year. This value is more volatile than the whole internal rate of return because internal rate of return is calculated from the beginning to the end for the whole time. But the annualized part just calculates how much you have gained per year. And this value is volatile because with market movements, it will change a lot. But all in all, in a long term, you should keep all of these values positive. That means your annualized rate of return should also be positive. It shows you how well you are performing per year. In this case, unfortunately, it is negative, but we can say it is because of the market movement. So hopefully it will be positive. In addition to these numbers, you can also find some important information. For example, your subscription plan and how many securities you're allowed to have in your portfolio. In this case, you see we have two securities in our portfolio, and this is below the 5 maximum number of securities allowed in our portfolio. So we are good to go with our free plan. Otherwise, we have to upgrade to a higher plan. In addition to that, we also see the portfolio settings. This section At the moment, you see at the right, it appears at the right side of of my application, but it depends on the resolution of your system. So if I just make it smaller, you see that that section appears in the bottom. So depending on the resolution of your application, this panel will change its position, but its values are always there in all of the pages. With this, I'm done with this video, and in the future videos, we wanna go to the asset analysis page and talk about each of these panels which show you different analytical figures. Until then, take care and bye.